Hey, 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 back again with another stream. I meant to take a look around before I hit start broadcast to see who might be out and about in these parts, but I didn't. So, yeah, I was hesitating for a second because oh, the home life's a little different. And plus, on top of that, I wasn't sure what was going on tonight. Um, yeah, so I'm here and I'm gonna just hop right into things. So I left a few notes in the
So
comment
I'm
section.
here and
I hate when it happens. Shut up. Who's that crazy woman talking back at me? Sounds like me. Brr. Anyway, so so I was going through some comments. And I was like, man, actually, maybe I want to start here because I feel like I kind of left the last video regarding the Carnell white identitarian calling in LO freaking L. That was amazing. Um, I feel like there's a couple things that I didn't say so well, but then I go look at some of the recent comments here off of that video, and I'm like, okay, these lovely people just gave me a very good opening into some things that I missed or things that I can use to. I keep want to say word extrapolate, but it always feels a little bit odd. But anyway, whether that's the word or it's not, whether grease is the word or not, ha ha ha, we'll figure it out. So actually, I think I'm gonna start with comments tonight. So let me just first let's revisit the title here. Move over Jet Magazine. Aryan Kang of the Week. Song examination and other random tidbits. So, for anyone here listening, is anyone familiar with Jet Magazine? It's like this kind of older school black magazine. It's like the size of like a 5x7 photo with a few pages inside. Basically, they do this thing called the Jet Beauty of the Week, usually, where it's like some black chick in like a swimsuit, and she's just like, "Hey, I'm here in a swimsuit, blah blah blah," and it's like way to feature like a cute chocolate hottie. Now, I would like to make it be more full. I don't think that's the description I was looking for, but basically, all of a sudden, I was listening to the last video that I made last night, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, because if you go back and listen to the video from last night at the end, I'm like, ooh, and it's weird. I'd almost mentally forgotten I was live streaming when I was looking at my phone, and I got this cute pic from this Aryan Kang, and I was like, ooh, Aryan Kang, hey, it was so weird. And I was like, oh gosh, almost like what Freely have just said, like, hey, my name is X. Here's my social security number. And, ooh, this Erin Kang. I was getting a little too loose in the boots. So and all of a sudden, okay, like an hour ago, I was doing some stuff, and I started thinking about it last night and doing that, and I was like, man, because actually this person I was joking with, I was like, oh, you're like an Aryan Kang. And I'm like, ooh, and then it clicked. And then all of a sudden I thought, Jet Magazine. Like my grandmother used to have a subscription to Jet Magazine, Ebony or Messence, like the kind of traditional black magazines. And I was like, ooh, hey, this could be a feature over here. I have not forgotten about the blogs I frolic with series. And I actually might end up revisiting certain people just because they're great and they're awesome and going from there. But anyway, so I have a debut tonight. Whoop, whoop, called Aryan Kang of the Week. So I'll try to make sure I remember it's only a weekly thing. And then I'll just feature in some Aryan Kang that we should be paying tribute to. So it's like the Jet Magazine feature. Uh, if you can see well enough, you may see in the tabs that I have open while I'm screen sharing who the Aryan Kang, the debut Aryan Kang is tonight, but that's okay. So let's go over here and see Jet Magazine Beauty of the Week. If they have to say so, Jet Beauty of the Week is back. Blah, blah. Well, basically, like I'm trying to think. Oh, we should take the Google image search. Mm. Ugh. Let's just do a simple Google search. If I can just show you the basics of what it typically is. It's just one page within. Jet Beauty of the Week. Let's do an image search. Okay. I saw this peeking out. So, like, it always takes you out to a separate page. I just want them to just zoom in on the photo. Anyway. Well, look, I'll just kind of scoot through this. You can see what I mean. Like, it's basically like a chick, and they have this little, like, spiel, like, blah, blah, blah. It's a blah, 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 blah. Let's see, we'll just get full in. Okay, here we go. Hometown, current residence, occupation, career goal, hobbies, zodiac sign, Instagram, what she wants to see, why she wants to be a jet beauty. And you get this like little 5-point spiel about, whoever the beauty of the week is. I didn't think that far ahead. I didn't want to be some direct replica. But just in tandem with crowning someone as an Aryan Kang, I decided, I should do the same thing over here on this vlog and this channel, so I could probably fill in that kind of information about the men that I may feature here. Actually, tonight, the first Aryan Kang, I already know all these things, and it's really funny because he's been my Aryan Kang of the week since like I was like in high school, middle school. So I can fill in all these bullet points. So just that's coming, but it's coming in a little bit. That's what she said. Wow, I'm feeling really cheeky tonight. Jesus. Listen to me. So we're going to put that aside. Here's one of the original Jet Beauties of the week, and this is kind of the style in which I am using for the Aryan Kangs of the week. So just to give you an idea where the inspiration came from, if you're like particularly a black millennial or someone older, your grandmama always had a subscription to Jet magazine. They're like the size of like a 5x7 photo, about 20 pages, and you're very used to seeing those. So I'm just basically borrowing another. It's a found art, baby. I'm using a found art type of way of doing things here. So anyway, this won't be another fly by night. Oh, spoiling the surprise, spoiling it, spoiling it. Ugh. That's me hitting my hand because I'm spoiling things. Now, what I think I'm going to do quickly, and you know what quickly means in this universe. First, let me clear my throat and do my beer, wine, spirit plug here. Tonight's beer of choice is by the brewery that's literally called Brewery, but it's spelled B as in boy, R as in Robert, U as in umbrella, E as in Edward, R as in Robert, Y as in yellow. The Brewery. This is their trade winds. It's a Belgian style triple ale brewed with rice and Thai basil. Again, it's called Trade Winds. The local store here by me has a really cool feature on it, like $7 for the nice table bottles. They did this recently. Well, I recently like 2 months, and I bought two of them for like $12, which is kind of cool. And I gave that as a birthday present to a good friend of mine. Was there picking up some bourbon just for my normal shelf. Speaking of, they have this really cool deal on like Jim Beam. Like this is like the 1.5 liter for like $20 right now. Whoop whoop. So that's the beer and bourbon sponsor of the evening. So gotta get my plugs in. I practice the plugs now, so like it's weird. I was listening to America First, Nick Fuentes, who you should be watching by the way, because Nick Fuentes is pretty cool people. Um, basically he did this like mini kind of joke plug about Big Waters, water company sponsoring him. And it really wasn't even a thing, but people thought it was a thing, and it became this joke of a thing, blah, blah. So I'll start like fake plugging uh, certain breweries and distilleries and vineyard wineries, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll start getting like big bourbon or big wine or big beer behind me. That'd be pretty awesome. Anyway, so I think I'm just gonna dip into the comments here. Now I wanted to make this something I do more week to week, or anytime I like happen to be online, because like I said before in the last video, again, extend my greatest apologies, but had already set it up before I left for London that I have this feeling that I'm going to be kind of out in like the wilderness for like a few weeks or a few days. Bear with me. Thanks for everybody subscribing. Like I literally left on the eve of all these people like kind of flooding in, and I just was like all over the place because you do an international trip. I don't think I had this big like sleep deprivation thing, but I still notice like I'm a little more tired earlier than I should be. And even for the past 2 weeks I've been back, I've been kind of just, it's not been drastic, but just struggling a little bit. So all in all, I think what I should just do, because comments come in really fresh and I'll read them on my phone while I'm at work, having like a break, and I'm like, man. So it's just probably more beneficial at this point to just go through and read them and, share them as they come. So anyway, it's have to be every week or every day, but whenever they come in, I happen to, get on and talk with you lovely people. I should just be making this a feature whenever I'm on and if there's something new to discuss, because I really do appreciate and find it really valuable, like people commenting. And I know a lot of content creators. I know it feels weird saying that about myself even, but it's true. There's an extra benefit to that because someone listened to the things you were talking about. They contribute their own like set of ideas or things and ways of looking at it. Then you kind of go back within a few days or a week later. You're like, whoa, yeah, that's like really rad. And then they give you end up with something else to expound upon. So I'm very grateful for that. Someone, I always get a little bit like like womp womp, womp womp nationalism, baby. Hoo yeah. Corey Lewandowski. Okay, well, he's going on the list. He's going to be Aryan Kang, week 3. You come back for that. I'm going to make a note right now. Corey Lewandowski. He's going to be Aryan Kang, week 3. Week 3, Corey Lewandowski. Because womp womp nationalism is like, it's all you need, baby. Womp womp nationalism, boo. So, let me just take a quick peek. Okay. All right. And Vogelfall. Always love everything she has to say and be here commenting on this channel. It's much appreciated. And I know I've thrown it out privately when I respond to comments. I'm still legit saying and hoping anyone that like, especially people who are, like I big up here, let me know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, people could or couldn't or wouldn't or won't, but it'd be really nice to have some of the, especially some of the Black women who come here who found me through whatever avenue, to like come on and just like hang out. That'd be awesome. Um, the commentary is always great to read, and I'm always responding to it like in kind, but just throw it out there. So anyway, I'm just gonna like just dive into the comment, pick apart what I want to say, and I'm pretty sure in the screen sharing function of Google, you'll be able to see just as well. Let's see, Control plus, yeah. Starting to get a little bit blind, so extra depth is important. So, beginning here in this comment from Anne one day ago, someone in the comments of the Divest Black Women video said that there was no acting black prior to the 1960s. Black folks need to let that mess go. It is costing us advancements and legacies. Even though diversity is a loaded word these days, it should be encouraged within the Black community. I do not act black or white. I act like me. So yeah, like I totally get that, and that's this because I've actually right here. because I can't really remember if it's you, Ann, or Lori just above here, that there was something one of you or both of you may have said that led me to go pick up John McWhorter. Actually, I think it's no, it is your comment. It's the last paragraph, so we'll get there. But that's something that's been often repeated. That a lot of this really only came into the black general consciousness within a certain period of time. Now, this isn't to say that, every black person was like Urkel or something with like a time machine in their like garage or something, but this specific type of animus and just whatever, this wasn't something that existed before. Anyway, good point about black men complaining about black women's supposed disloyalty, while some black men are on white MGTOW places bad mouthing black women without any negative consequences. Yes, yes, and yes. So, first point, the disloyalty. I think Miss Archduchess did a video about the 3-piece black woman group called Total, and I remember really being in love with I always see. I get so I worry about the copyright strikes due to certain music, and I really don't want to like get anywhere into that, cause especially with a live stream that can just upload in 2 hours. I don't want to come back and have it be totally gone. So I'm just gonna play it extra safe and super like nerdy, guys. But so you can see here in the search Total Kissing You. You too can type this into YouTube search bar and find it for yourself. So she made this really great video kind of chronicling these women after, in the current year. They were like a really cool 3-piece black woman group, and this song is so sweet and cool. I used to sing this like I still probably know most of the song by heart. And so there's this loyalty because she made a point like black women stop tripping over some of these black men. Because there's another song that's called Tripping. You got me tripping. You got me. Oh, I remember that. You got me tripping on my own feet. You got me bugging, boy. You got me bring me so much joy. You got me open, boy, and I'm gonna say myself for you. Okay, that's my unprepared singing, but I just also remember the whole like choral riff to that song. So she made a point about the time the video was like, black women, stop writing all these songs and singing about how you in love with the brothers, you love the brothers so much, because it's not being reciprocated and it makes you look desperate. So I would riff on that from here. Total tripping. Even though Emmy Kissing You, obviously all the male protagonists in the video are black men, so you're getting the same type of like, that's where the love is coming from. But I've been thinking about doing this for a bit because if I do them in a short little video, somebody like flicks them off for copyright, I really won't even care because I can just like link it and not even play anything in the video. But this is another one. Angie Stone, Black Brother. Now, she wrote a whole song about loving the Black Brothers. Well, I guess it's called Brother in the title, but we can ascertain the implications just by using the term brother, BROTHA on the end, and know exactly who she's targeting in this. But there's a whole bunch of like things in there, like chocolate brother, my corporate brother, hanging on the corner, good for nothing brother. She didn't say good for nothing. I don't know what she said. Basically, this disloyalty question is so funny when the popular culture, I mean, it's 3.7 million views. Like, I know she has this, yeah, this is her other big song. No More Rain. There's no more rain in this house. Like, that was another big hit of hers. That's just more kind of like a little bit solely. I don't think it's really Christian or anything. I can't recall. I haven't listened to the song in full, probably about a decade if I ever listened to it in full ever. But basically, so this loyalty point that Anne Vogelfall is making here in the comment section is really key because that's exactly what I'm saying. This disloyalty thing is so funny when sisters have been writing, sisters, quote unquote, writing all these love songs to their brothers and they chocolate kangs and they brown sugar kangs, black women's supposed disloyalty. Well, because then where in the popular culture are all these things coming from? Anyway, So, picking up from there, good point about black men complaining about black women's supposed disloyalty, while some black men are on white MGTOW places bad mouthing black women without any negative consequences. Now, I think I did mention this in the last video. A big part of it, like that, what made me that really hit me a year ago was like on Aaron Clary's channel, because I'm thinking I might just buy the book and do a case study on this for this channel because I'm just gonna go pull it up. Let's just be done with this once and for all. Aaron Clary, a black man. Yeah, it'll come up in this general search. The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. The Aaron Clary interview on O'Shea Vodcast channel. Okay, I had to do the side. You understand how to do the side, right? I'm not gonna click or play on it, but basically, book reading: The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty by Aaron Clary, Part 1, Your Real Enemy. Now, I have not read it. It's the thing with Aaron Clary is so weird because I'm a big fan of Savage Hippies podcast, which is Edwin Oslin, David Cole, and Sturzinger. They all are tangentially, directly, what have you, are friends with Aaron Clary and know him pretty well to a large degree. So it's so funny, like, I've known about this for a little bit of time. Now that I actually have an active channel, it'd be interesting to like look into this and do something about this. So basically, I've made this point in so many strange ways, or not strange ways, but just a few times that like it's so funny that black men need to leave their moms. I know I've watched this before, but I don't know where, since this is just coming up because of Ann's comment. I don't want to dip into it, but here I'm going to click on it so you can see the title in full. You can go watch it. If anyone here is liking, sharing, and subscribing, please come back and go watch this and come back. Give me some things to look at. Oh, request how black moms enslave their sons. And of course, we have like the nice little photo. Like that stock image is so trippy. Anyway, again, I know I mentioned this like 2 or 3 times. Like, so I guess I have like a subject I need to cover. Black men, stop bailing out your moms. This is a subject I need to cover in a separate period of time. But just in addressing Ann Vogelfald's comment, let me just say that this is something that needs to be discussed because it's so funny. Because I think I said this in the last video. It'd be so interesting if like black women had been like, I can't think of any like, I mean, I could probably think of some, but there's so many different avenues of white women talking to other white women about how to deal with life and relationships and family and childhood and this and that and the third. And black women particularly have been so just like, hands up, about saying anything about their community and their Kangs. But they Kangs have no problem going over to majority white male sides and groups and telling them everything, like singing like a bird about everything. Not just everything, folks, but everything. Like 3 R's up in that shit. Everything. And if black women had returned the favor, which in a subtle way is slowly starting to happen, that would totally change the tide. Now, anyway, I'm just going to leave that there because, again, anybody who's listening, you come back and catch the stream later, you go do a little like digging, pull out some points you may find of interest, and please let me know because this is definitely coming. To be honest, what I think I should do to do due diligence on this subject is to actually pick up the book because it hit me offhand like, well, there's plenty of black women and girls in poverty, trying to go to school and do this and that and the third. So I probably thought, why don't I buy the book and maybe edit it a bit and pose this to Aaron Clary? Like, why don't we write a book, The Black Woman's Guide Out of Poverty? Like, I know what his, he's a man. He's not here to talk about women's things, whatever. I get it. But that might be an interesting turning point that I or some other enterprising person could explore. But I'll leave that in closing there because, again, like I said, this serves its own discussion onto itself. So when you said that your comment, and I was like, whoa, And I know I probably said in the last comment stream too, which means that this is something that I should do. All right. Blacks do have a lot of myths considering whites, which is just as bad as blacks being stereotyped by the media. I grew up in the suburbs, so my experience is different than most. Yeah, I think I kind of like went through some of that too. Like my life is a lot different. I grew up in the inner city around a lot of black people, like the poor hood rat blacks, the didn't do nothing, indigent blacks, the working class black people who still live in what we consider to be majority minority chocolate city ghettos, because like they don't want to go move to like white folks bay or something like that. So you end up with like, and I think I was trying to say to someone previously that a part of it is that folks don't understand it's not just the inner cities are all full of like hood rat, what black people. A lot of black people, a good proportion of them, even when they do make a little money, they have a decent government job or something. They don't want to move away into like majority white areas. So a lot of your black inner cities, what I think the alt right, dissident right types miss, is that it's a little more nuanced than they think about who lives where. So blacks do have a lot of myths. Oh, sorry, I read it already. Derp, derp. I think okay. I just read through this before, but I want and obviously, everyone here can read. I hope everybody's on a reading rainbow. I'm gonna skip the third paragraph and jump to the fourth because I actually just pulled out John McWhorter to address what Ann Vogelfall said in the last statement. I just learned that blacks in the Midwest were doing well prior to the 1960s until the great migration of Southern blacks and their depressed mentalities due to Jim Crow spread north. Northern blacks were pissed off because they knew these folks were going to bring everyone down and there was nothing they could do to stop it. The statistics tell the story. Ultimately, blacks in general will have to cut off the ones choosing not to grow and quit letting skin color and blood be a deciding factor. Ruthless but necessary for survival. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bam. There you go. Now, let me pull from this is Winning the Race Beyond the Crisis in Black America by John McWhorter. This was a follow up kind of complimentary book to Losing the Race by John McWhorter, who I'm pretty sure if anyone here is listening, you are probably loosely familiar with John McWhorter. He's like the linguist from Stanford. He went to Stanford. To teach Stanford, you go to school out east and then teach at Stanford. Anyway, when you hear Tom Sowell and some of those like the black conservatives, even though John McWhorter wasn't necessarily conservative or anything, he grew up relatively sort of middle class. His mom was a college professor. His parents, they like moved to the suburbs in the 60s. Anyway, so John McWhorter gets kind of classed in that same category, even though he's not really, was never politically really anything. It's just his viewpoints and things that he espouses and the stats and the evidence that he brings to the table ended up falling way more in line with that side of the argument. So anyway, anyone here should know who John McWhorter is. Oh, hey, Chaz, B98. Black women bail out black men. That is 99.9% of the problem. They support the bullshit. Yep, the mammy mule contingent never sleeps, never rests. So, like, it's funny when you say that. Like, remember the whole, was it the Black Terminatrix meme, like, from the Tommy sort of my horror, like, sphere? But that is so in a way, if you take it and you kind of rearrange some of the parts, that is literally what it is. Like the Black Terminatrix does not care about her own image, what happens to her children, what happens to her and her general race, because everything's about her Kang. And as Kendall St. Charles kind of outlined, it's the phallus and the umbilical cord. Those two like distinct male ties that black women have to the black male is so all encompassing, all encroaching onto common sense, uh, self-preservation, etc. Anyway, let me I'm just dropping this in here because you can't really, I mean, I know you can drop links, but can I drop links? Well, first, It's where I'm back in the situation again, doing lives again, where I'm typing things live into chat. Like, I already said hi. I know you can hear me say hi. That's like I have to type it too. It's like I gotta make it double good. Like it's morphin time. Mastodon, pterodactyl. But seriously, I really dig your comments. I think I was watching a Great Liberators video earlier today. I don't know if it was there or maybe it might have been Black Butterfly, aka Cynthia G, where I saw you at previously, and I was like, whoa. Anyway, glad to have you here. I know you commented previously, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure I responded to you a couple times on and off and leaving comments here. So thank you for chiming in and being here. Anyway, but yeah, if Black women don't have any, if you have no even the most basic mammalian type of creature has a sense of self-preservation, and this is where it's not like the her weaves and the hood rats or whatever the hell else a lot of Black men and other like mammy handmaids are saying about Black women. There's this collective problem with us that I think a lot of Black women are just fucking stupid. I think they're gullible, and I think they're just dim and goofy, and it makes me like sick and sad. They just don't understand that you have to preserve self to some degree. Anyway, let me pull up this. Now, going back to Ann Vogelfall's comment saying, I just learned that blacks in the Midwest were doing well prior to 1960s until the great migration of the Southern blacks and their depressive mentalities due to Jim Crow spread north. Northern blacks were pissed off because they knew those folks were going to bring everyone down and there was nothing they could do about it. Now, pulling this from page 43 of Winning the Race, Beyond the Crisis in Black America by John McWhorter, and a little subset of the chapter of, this is chapter 1. Here we go. This is from chapter 2, The Birth of the Inner City, part 1, Indianapolis. And here within that, we have a section called Ominous Developments. For the deindustrialization theorist, the slide downhill to the Indianapolis of the Soul Fest shootings began 20 years later in the 60s, when two developments coincided. First was the second Great Migration of Southern blacks in the 1960s. In Indianapolis, 2/3 of the migrants were under 25, most had not graduated from high school, and 3/4 were women, most from broken marriages and now saddled with children. These people naturally settled in the black neighborhoods in the center of the city. Second was that, indeed, at this time, many low-skilled manufacturing jobs were moving away from the city center into the more spacious suburban ring. Only 15% of the new immigrants had cars to get to the new plants, while the local bus system, developed for the more centralized city of yore, often did not run early or late enough to adequately serve factory workers. Manufacturing jobs were even, on the average, located a few miles further from the center of the town than service jobs that often did not pay well. Now, I kept going there, and all of a sudden, him is like, oh, I forgot that actually bleeds into another subset. But anyway, the first segment there is key. And if anyone's interested, I mean, I just know you're interested because you just have to be because you're listening. Now, I've been working on this thing for a bit, but that first segment very adequately describes my own upbringing and the people that I'm descended from. So, first was the second Great Migration of Southern blacks in the 1960s. Now, while my own family line did not leave the South and go north to Indianapolis, they end up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yep, telling you that. I know I've said it plenty of times, but yep, I'm a cheesehead. But I'm a cheesehead de facto because of this paragraph. So let's break this apart. So Southern blacks, 1960s. My mother was born in the early 50s in Birmingham, and they come up in the 60s to Milwaukee. I think it was about maybe her and my aunt graduated high school in the early 70s. So they came like about 1965, somewhere between there and 1970. That's when they end up here. I mean, I don't live in Milwaukee anymore, but here, because I still live in the Midwest. 2/3 of the migrants were under 25. Now, my grandmother was a teen mom back in this before. I mean, the feminism spread so quickly. She was born in 1935, and she became a teen mom like in 1950, 1952 in Birmingham, Alabama. I mean, that feminism spread just so goddamn fast, don't you know? So, Granny would have been 40, 35, 45. She would have just been on the edge of. Wow, that's interesting. It makes her a little bit older than I thought she would have been. Okay, so born in 35, we moved. Well, I say we, but obviously I wasn't born yet. Get there in the early 60s. So she would have been just a little bit under that age, in that like mid to late 20s, early 30s block when she got here with two children by two different fathers, by two different black men, by the way, with her mother, my great grandmother. And they all came up here. Now, granted, they didn't just come willy nilly. My great grandfather, who had already come up here to get some black woman knocked up with some kid, who we still know to this day, he's only surviving like sibling in my grandmother's line. We still know him today. Nice guy. Um, so it wasn't willy nilly. I think my grandmother's older brother had already found a job in Milwaukee, some factory. And so he served in World War II, came up. So it wasn't totally willy nilly that they ended up there, but basically this is just kind of one of a part of these stories. So she gets here with two children who are about 5, 10, 12 years old, and they get up here. So it wasn't a broken marriage, by the way. Again, let's revisit this passage. First was the second Great Migration of Southern blacks in the 1960s. In Indianapolis, 2/3 of the migrants were under 25. Most had not graduated from high school. Let's pause right there. My grandmother did not, because she went to a Catholic school in the South. She got kicked out when she got knocked up at 14 with my aunt. Before 2 years later, she got knocked up with my mother. So, yep. So it was never a broken marriage there, but she did not finish high school because of that fact at that time. So 3/4 were women, most from broken marriages and now saddled with children. These people naturally settled in the black neighborhoods in the center of the city. And so, just knowing where we lived in those times, and my mother would tell me about, those are still pretty much a lot of the areas of the black northern Milwaukee parts of town that they lived in, places that, hell, are still relatively very, very black. Anyway, I know I went a little bit further there into that comment, but that was amazing that Anne Vogelfall pointed this out, because there is something that happened there with a lot of these changes, and there were black people in the north. I mean, there's like, what is his name? There's some guy back right after Civil War who tried to run from his owner, ended up here. I want to say it's Dred Scott was the first separate but equal case. I don't want to get too loaded down there, but basically there have been black people since before the end of the Civil War, if not a little bit later beyond that, who end up north. But that particular second migration, particularly after the World War II, and that those pushing waves of blacks leaving like your Atlantas, your Birminghams, your everywhere in those southern black cities, coming north to your Clevelands, your Ohios, your Chicagos, your Detroits, etc. That changes the game so much in a lot of this racial discussion, and that's a key thing that I think a lot of, like, especially when we get to more the distant right, the alt right, they have to kind of phase this into how we've gotten to this racial question and a lot of these issues that we find ourselves in today in the current year. Um, all these things kind of leading up to like that precipice of like the 1965 Immigration Act, and then the kind of changes that you see on the other side of that wall. So, all in all, really great comment. Obviously, it gave me a chance to extrapolate and discuss a few things that I wanted to talk about. Um, oop, leave that honey there. Oh, Aaron Kang in the week. Now, I need like 2 seconds I'll be right back in one moment. Like I told you guys, tonight's a little bit crazy, freaky, weird. So I won't leave you alone. Last night it was Morrissey. Tonight it's just going to be, well, let's see who's talking. Oh, that's me, that chick right there. So you can see all my searches and stuff. Ooh, okay. How about this? I'm gonna go to use the ladies' room for 10 hours so you can listen to this in full. No, I'm not. Just give me like 2 seconds. Okay, we'll phase off of Trump real quick. I guess I could just like mute this for a second. Anyway, do we just want to like listen to this forever? No, I think everybody does. My commentary is too important. It's not, but yeah, okay. Yeah, so thank you so much for your patience, my peoples. All right, so I'll just leave that up in case we need that later on. So again, a messed up way the black women bashers make valid complaints. Yep. I'm gonna add a yup right there on the end. I saw you say that before, Chaz, and I was like, yeah. So it's weird. It's almost like this backwards universe where like the criticisms actually make a lot more sense. Like for instance, I think towards the end of Kendall's tenders, chicken tendies. What am I saying here? The fact that you'll get a lot. Okay, I was listening to some of the great liberators, and Sinji and China Fox are on there, and I just found it really funny. Like a lot of the complaints are actually valid, but they're valid in a way that don't make sense. So you kind of end up in these scenarios where, yeah, a lot of what is being said is true, but it's just being done in a way that benefits one party. It just denigrates the other. A lot like so, too much attitude. Well, yeah, there's too much black woman attitude directed at like random white people, random non-black male people, including other black women. That is completely unfounded, and that is just really horrific and nasty. So they got too many attitudes. Yeah, when I see them like, big up against somebody like Maxine Waters and her reclaim my time meme. And I may do a separate video about this, but I guess I could just address it here really quickly. Like, do not be aligning yourself with Max. God, this chair is really creaky. Do not be aligning yourself with Maxine Waters and her, like, do you know it's just her and that other black woman Congress chick with the cowboy hat? I think she's a Texas or Floridian person. Like, they're out here, being like the pit bulls against, majority society. Not necessarily white, but like against civility, against the normal rules that most people move and operate in. Don't be sitting here posting these reclaim my time memes, anti-Maxine. It's like black women tend to get these like they big up each other into like doing things that are antisocial and that are just like not good, and it's not benefiting anyone. Stop making yourself the face of defiance. I don't see any number of black men behind them, big upping them, and I would be surprised, especially more like the kind of base black men in Trump hat types. You aren't seeing them like laughing at, if not downright denigrating, black women who are taking the kind of approach that your Maxine Water types are doing. They're the only ones standing there by themselves, and especially her, older black woman. Where's her shield? Where's her guard? Where's any her men folk protecting her? She's just out here talking all out of pocket, flagrant, out of mouth. And so yeah, the complaints can be very valid. Again, it's valid in a way that seeks to not call out the real culprits. Anywho, let's move on to another comment. Now with L'Oreal, there's a couple of really good comments from her further down that I really want to dig into, and I actually threw out like, hey, do you want to like come over and like maybe talk one day? So I don't want to go through all of them. I want to see, maybe she says, hey, that'd be totally cool. And if so, that'd be awesome, because then maybe we can just pick some of these apart. Otherwise, well, how about we'll do like a random up, down, up, down, up. We'll land here. White men have known for centuries what black men are collectively. White men must be pissing themselves laughing at the claims black men make that they cannot create infrastructure owning to a black woman's weave. Yeah, again, like I think. Oh, and you left that around my comment reflecting on a. It was basically reflecting on a comment from Brooklyn Blues channel, where basically I pulled apart a comment that another black woman had made. Oh, these are my old cell phone days, my Google View video days. So this is a comment from one of the cleanup woman videos of Kendall St. Charles. Why don't we take a quick detour and listen to this? I can take a sip of my cool Belgian ale and add get rid of some of this poshness, my friends. And I think this is a nice little setup because I haven't been here in a while to this comment, but I've mentioned it last night in my last video. There's something here to keep returning to. So always listen to me read this, and we can go back to L'Oreal's comment because it's a continuing piece of something valuable to share and to say and to suggest. So let's take a quick little list. It takes me like 30 seconds to read. As I've been told in a few Luke 4 streams, I have a high verbal IQ, so I can just. It's always funny, like, oh, okay, great. I can't do anything beyond like fourth grade math, but, I'm a really well read person and shit and stuff. Anyway, let's just listen. Had up. Remember the cell phone days, guys. The cell phone. And I don't remember which one. It was like maybe a 3 or 4 part series. But I saved this when I was reading it. I wish I screen grabbed more looking back. And I should start doing that. I'll probably do that more often going forward too. But this is one of many of those really like those comments, you read that you end up saving. And you're like, whoa, there's so much there. So what I'm going to do is just read it in full. And then you can kind of see I have a few things underlined that I would like to address individually. And I think I'm going to follow up. There's a second comment on Facebook, but I've noticed with this setup that I have currently, but not forever. It's easier to do the slightly longer video, then come back around with the few minutes that's left in this little sequence to do the second one. So watch this one once it's uploaded. I'll have one right behind it. So this is a comment by 90 Supermodel, and this was from, again, the Clean Up Woman series that Kendall St. Charles did. Don't know which part, but anywho. I'm starting to think that what the black man considers racism is really just the byproduct of the white man knowing the truth about him all along. Or maybe I'm just that divested I can look at it from that angle. But I believe the white man knows the black man's been lying to black people about slavery and has been single-handedly taking the blame for it. The white man knows who was at the gate and knows about the black man's century of corrupt leadership. Centuries of corrupt leadership. That's why the black man has set him out to be the greatest threat to blackness. But it's the black man who is the real racist. The black man is a real perpetrator of colorism. While he is trying to convince the world that the white man hates him because of his skin color, reality is the white man hates him due to his inherent lack of character, integrity, and moral conduct. Any one of us would be right not to want black men around our daughters or sons even. We wouldn't want our children corrupted by their degrading music and music videos, their cultural degeneracy, trash TV, unsafe neighborhoods, broken family values, etc. The white man is just protecting his community and what he's built from the black man and the black woman who support his corruption. Yeah, maybe white people have had pride and prejudice and have been discriminating towards those things which do not suit their greater purpose, but we should all have those standards. The white man's values, his moral integrity, his culture, his class, which has excluded black men, has nothing to do with skin color, has everything to do with protecting his community and what his forefathers have built. It's no different than when they criticize heavy metal and rock because the suburban white kids are going crazy, doing drugs, and becoming devil worshippers. The black man has no moral integrity and doesn't deserve even the small bit of goodness he's created. Neither do the black women who continue to support his dysfunction and corruption. Okay, I probably say some other things right there, but I'm going to pull that there. Man, it's cool to revisit that after a bit of time. What is that? March 16th. Woo! Back in the spring of things. So, actually all these comments here from Lori come from that video. And again, this would be great to talk with particularly another black woman about that statement because, again, the key point of that when the 90 Supermodel said that really struck me. It was someone black, particularly a black woman, honing in on that point. And this is something that, I listen to like a lot more of the typical blackosphere type videos. I go, man, it's not racism. It's not, Richard Spencer, Jared Taylor, Luke Ford, Dennis Dale, just certain like white dudes I know, like they're not just waking up like taking a sip of their like coffee and going like, all right, these den dudes, let's get them. There's an inherent reason that most other groups, and we even see it with the Asian Hispanics, have this problem with us to a certain degree. It's not more racist. The things you distinctly do. Now, you can call it racism or you want to call it, but there's things that we collect in a larger collective sense distinctly do that are problematic to other people. And not that they don't have their own problematic traits. And I'm not even just saying that to like, add some kind of buffer filler right there to what I'm saying. But this perception of more racism is really just other people going, dude, that's not cool. So like, think of it like, for instance, like if you think it's okay to like be in so think about the world as a global community and it's like a hot dog stand and everyone gets their hot dog. It's like a mustard, ketchup, some relish, whatever. But everyone just like squirts it on, piles on a few onions and relishes, and they go about their way. But you're the racial group that takes like the ketchup, and when you get that little dribble on the end, you put in your mouth and lick it off. And the little plastic spoons that are set there in like the little dishes, you like lick off the last bit and stick it back in. And you're the only people doing that. So it's racist for the other people to say, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, ew, you just racist and discriminating against me. It's like, no, like, you don't lick the cap of the ketchup and like put it back on after you like squirt it onto your hot dog or your brat. you don't just do that. Nobody's being racist against you. Like, you're just doing a behavior that is abhorrent and disgusting to pretty much everyone else here. Now let's say if we take like the spectrum and we kind of bring it out. Maybe the Hispanic takes his like shirt sleeve or like a little cuff of his shirt and wipes off the excess ketchup, or they, maybe tap the plastic spoon on like the edge of the table, shake some of it off before they put it back in. I don't know. There's some variances there. I mean, basically, other people may do certain things sort of like that, but if you're the group that's literally like licking the spoon or licking like the ketchup cap, other people don't like that. No one's being racist against you. Like, you're just doing something so diametrically opposed to the general group and groupings of people that they find it abhorrent. No one's like hating on you. Like, chill out. But anyway, so L'Oreal, another great comment. And here it is, me saying, hey, you should come on. We should talk. Speaking of, I may have something to share hopefully soon. I'm not going to spoil it now, but I basically followed out an idea to another content creator here about doing a podcast or doing a stream here and there about, well, I say too much, I'm going to spoil it. So I'm going to save it. I'm waiting to hear some feedback. So, excuse me. So, let me just dip over. Anyone saying some things? Ooh, grilled cheese. I never even had, well, I had some dinner. Dropping to say hi. Hi, grilled cheese. Can I just abbreviate GC? Please don't be offended. It's just 420 extra pale ale is nice too. Sweetwater Brewing Company, Paul Ramsey. Ramsey Paul is bae. Ramsey Paul is like really, really tall. Like, and I'm tall. And I was like, I remember saying this Ramsey Paul, I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I love tall people because tall people rock. If people taller than me rock, like, I totally just like bow down. I'm like all like Wayne's World, like, we're not worthy. So that might be an anecdote I'll maybe share with some of you folks in the future. I've actually been in the same room as Ramsey Paul. He's pretty tall and it's awesome. Gotta keep drinking that milk, yo. Sweetwater. Ooh, I have right now. Oh, you heard my beer plugging before. My beer plugs, I'm gonna get paid for this one day, baby, by the way. Maybe I'll just start home brewing and I can just homebrew and like have a little like beer business, and I'll start telling you guys like what it is. You can go to your local store and pick it up and it'll be rad. Anyway, go grilled cheese. Yeah, I want to go to Sweetwater one day. I've heard great I'm typing. You can hear the clackety clack clank 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 clank. Want to why is my a tour is all one word. Yeah, I've heard good things about Sweetwater. Like, I want to do a tour of them one day because they're like southern. That's sweet. Here, why don't we? Do a quick little informational learning. Sweetwater Brewing, 420. Hey. Oh my God, they're in Atlanta. Ooh. I'll keep that in mind. I have like a half sibling that lives here I've never met. And we're supposed to like meet each other at some point. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey. Ooh, don't forget. Okay. I'm kind of dragging a little bit here, folks. And I apologize. 7 watching now. Hey, who wants to come on? Like, okay, how about this? You think about it. What I'm going to do is, okay, Move over to Jet Magazine, Aaron Kang of the Week, Song Examination. Okay, pause. I'm going to have to just say, I did not think carefully about this. Like I mentioned before when I was like talking about this briefly, I don't want to actually Miss Archduchess got a video pulled for some like copyrighty things. And I think it was like it was like a long stream. It was like a 12-minute video she could redo. If they get pulled, like for instance, the only video I've ever gotten flagged for was The Guardian. I almost want to put it on and like maybe you guys can just listen to it verbal. Let me see if I can play it. Dude, like this is like one of my earlier auteur works. Here, let you guys see like the back end of things. Damn. Cause I want if I just play it for you guys in the background. No, I'm gonna play it for background, do it point by point. No. We gonna wait. Cause if it gets pulled, it just seems like shitty because I'm doing a stream and I'm chatting and kicking it. I'd be all ooh. Okay, I think we're gonna finish it. We're gonna have to finish the comments here, and then we're gonna jump over to Aaron Kang of the week, and what else do I want to tell you guys about? Grilled cheese. Hey, grilled cheese, do you want to like come on? I forget I can just like talk and like I don't have to like type at the same time. Like it's almost like I feel like I'm binding some type of my will to power or something, if you will, when I do that. But anyway, so let's get back into the comments. Delilah Cooper. Delilah Cooper is the shit. She's super cool. She's on Facebook. I mean, we've been in like some of the same circles, same trenches. Like another cool like black woman who like again like I have to just throw this out here. I'll do actually. I'll throw it out here later because I want to go back through a few things she said and say this is someone I definitely want to talk to. Like so many like black women that I see like we've been in all these little trenches together for years. I'm like, I really want to talk to you and like I want you to stream with me. We just like I'm thinking like we just like talk and just hang and maybe we pick like a story or common thing to go over and talk about. And it'd be so cool. Like, I mean, she's good people. I mean, she's on Facebook. I think we're Facebook friends too. But anyway, so she came here and chit chatting to see what she's got to say. Much respect to this girl. I think she might be a Southerner too. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, her logic is apparently wanting the best for white people equal wanting less for the best of other people. He said everyone will be looking out for their own. Black people will be looking out for black men. White identitarians will be looking out for themselves, lol. And these people aren't stupid. No black woman who has divested is looking for another Machiavellian deal, lol. I just don't know how their narrative of us first is not the racial inverse of black men and the black community's black men first. Seems both parties just need pawns, but neither are even pandering to our interests. They don't even know our issues or needs. Am I being rash? Ooh, let's do this in real time. Nah, you're not being rash at all. So yeah, because part of the thing is like when he called in, and I don't think I really got to the very ending points, like how she was so dismissive, like you gonna be a white identitarian and call in here on this channel, nah. And it's like the funny thing is, it made me very sad because of the very positive, fun, serious, deep, introspective XYZ open up a thesaurus and throw it at the wall. Discussions I've had with white identitarians, white race realists, and all those folks across the whole spectrum that I still work with and talk with to this day. When I hear people be dismissive, and I hear on this side as far as black people, but then when I still have to kind of make these same points that Delilah is making here, you don't understand a lot of black people are just stuck in a mold. There's not going to be anything that you're going to ever do to convince them. They can say, "Oh, I'm a black," and like I was listening to Duvid's stream after being on JF last night. I didn't listen to a lot of it. I think I made my video and I had some other things I had to do before I went to bed before I got for work the next day. And I was just like, damn, I wanted to dig in more, but there was a guest on who was like, oh, me and my buddy stream, and we had some black nationalists on, and dot dot dot. And I think that's what makes me so like. So anybody listening that is from the General Lucas here, so when the Hotel Jesus thing happened, I think you have to fundamentally understand why I get really frustrated, really angsty, and just kind of borderline bitch mode, because I know the majority of black people, particularly the majority of black men who are doing these like face blacks and Trump hat pimping of shit, they're not going to solve anything. It basically in full will take whites exerting their will to just do what the fuck they want to do for the most part and move forward. You're not gonna like, because like I mean, think with Yvette Carnell, like as much as I shit talk her because she is kind of a dumb bitch and her mammyism is like ridiculous. But interesting enough, like I said last night, like there are some interesting economic discussions, and I do see things in our comment stream that are interesting to hearing other black people talk about in terms of like race. The boomer question amongst the black people is very interesting because I even have some of those same questions about my parents technically are boomers and whatever. And I don't know. So there's a lot happening there, but you can't expect there to be some black nationalism or identitarianism or hotepery of black people. A couple black men like talking shit online and getting a few MAGA peeps like, oh my god, you base blacks are so great. You guys are going to save the race. MAGA. Even if they aren't MAGA-ing properly or whatever, there's just things that aren't going to do anything that are going to benefit anyone. So if you're white identitarian, like I'd rather like you just say, look, if you're a Dindu, back up, and that would include me. You can put your hand on my face like back up, bitch, and I'd be like, okay, because I'd rather you have that position than to sit here and pretend like some of these Dindus are going to like do anything because they're not. They're just sitting here trying to be like, oh, well, we care about the abortions and the Planned Parenthood and the liberals. I'm just basically almost in a way rehashing the whole Tip Jesus, question all over again. But it's important to understand that, like, it's funny, like, I find the people who are listened to least, even amongst ourselves as black women, in these circles and comments like this from Delilah and other black women here, Lori and Volafol, probably have a lot more honesty, even if they don't offer some kind of like, silver lining or ribbon to box up these discussions. But I feel like I've kind of meandered over. Let's go see what's going on here. True DeSoto is another lady who is very clever, very open-minded to considering all types of opinions and ideas from everyone as long as they're respectful and well-founded. She doesn't make many videos. True DeSoto, that sounds really familiar. Grilled cheese. I can't think of who that is though. You say anything about that and respond to Delilah. Okay. Oop, we went too far. I might have to revisit Arcade. I don't think I did. There's a couple of early videos I don't think I did justice considering the subject matter. So I'll be looking for me to maybe remove like one or two videos and replace them with something else. Because the arcade selection thing has come up in a few other circles I want to dig into and move from there. So, another thing. Also from Delilah Cooper, who is awesome, by the way. Does this distant right or all right really think that what isn't good enough for them because they have sense, which is living mixed up with foolishness, is good enough for me and my descendants? We cannot and I will not depend on the leadership of black men nor my fellow black women to look out for the actual best interests of the community within a group. A black separatist movement sounds like madness to me. They project their manner of leadership onto the black community and it makes them sound conditioned and or entirely out of touch. Amen. So this is so funny enough, like I'm gonna try to keep this really brief. One thing I kept thinking of is like so when it hasn't really happened too much directly, but I run these things like, well, like you and the blacks should stick together and rise up, and you're a good black person to go lead them out of the whatever. And I kind of in the back of my head, I was thinking, or have said in certain ways, like, so after reading like 5-ish plus years of like dissident alt right race, human biodiversity, IQ stats, whatever, you're basically in a certain sense telling me to like pretend I didn't read that, understand those consequences, and just go, well, for the raise, da da da, and do certain things. So like I don't want to like I have accepted, if not all, we'll just even say to be fair, up to like maybe anywhere from 75-90% of what you're saying about other non-white races and certain classes and groups of people, even myself included, where that falls into. So you're telling me like, well, you read all that, you get that, but just pretend you don't really get it and, you know, moving to Tariki, Tommy Sotomayor horror designations, and pretend I don't see or understand these things now. And that's something I can't do. So that's a really good question. So somebody asked myself that too, like, well, the blacks should just, well, I'm telling you that part of the reason I'm even here in a circle like this amongst folks like yourselves is because I'm not privy or prey to those like collectivist ideas amongst a large population of black people where even the things that you may be positing may don't have no bearing. I'm here because I'm not a part of that. And if I were to do things you say you want me to think that I should do, it's like an alternate timeline that it's an alternate timeline that wouldn't exist. Like I wouldn't even be here on this like trajectory to tell you that, oh, that doesn't make any sense and I can't. It's like you can't, one thing doesn't exist without the other in a sense. If I were to embrace that and get those things about this kind of racial collectivism amongst my people, quote unquote, I'd probably be holding up a Black Lives Matter sign, yelling at you from an intersection someplace. But because I'm part of another side of things that sees those things differently, I can be here having this commonality with you, but that also frees me up to say I can't be over here doing those other things. But so a little sip of water. To the second comment, Mexican gangs are ethnically cleansing public housing of black people. They threw Molotov cocktails into the windows of homeless single mothers with children. Yeah, I think I hope I said that, but there's a big story about how many black people are being kind of terrorized in certain areas and places, particularly in like, Southern California areas, or just where they used to live. And you see this across the country, certain like places that were black neighborhoods and places, and where the dynamics have changed over time. That's pretty rough stuff. So, yeah. All right, so I think I did enough for the comments. Oh, our break music. Oh, everybody's homework. Y'all help me out with some homework. I'll type it in later. So, Aryan Kang of the week. Are we excited? Guess where you're one person sitting outside of a laptop. Okay, so again, what inspired me was a lovely photo and the kind words of an Aryan Kang yesterday. If you caught my last video, like at the end, like I got this message and I was like, "Oh my god, he's so beautiful!" And so you can hear like maybe 30 seconds of me like, "Oh, my Aryan Kang, yo!" And we were just like, I was just like, man, what a great Aryan Kang guy. And then sometimes today, like it just came in my head, like Jet Magazine. I'm like, whoa, that could be a segment on this blog, man. AryanKangs.com. So instead of Jet Beauty of the Week, who is lovely, by the way, Shanice Caldwell. Mm-hmm. Control plus, control plus, control plus. Hmm. So let's start our inaugural issue of. Oh, what else? The same thing. Go back. Maybe I should download this sooner. Okay, so welcome to Aryan Kang issue number 1. Our Aryan Kang of the week is Ben fucking Affleck. Ugh. I will write this down. Numero fucking uno, baby. I wish I had it someplace. Like, so there's a picture like I took in my like 8th grade bedroom. It's like this is like right around the Dawson Creek time of things. And so like I had this like because like Dawson's Creek soundtrack volume 1. Here, okay, just like anybody listening in, these poor people watching now. Hey, woo woo. This is gonna be kind of like a little bit of a riffy part of the discussion. Other random tidbits, I was lucky to kind of corral a follow up to the video from last night about Yvette Carnell into a thing. So I think I'm kind of solidly where I want to be. So I think I'm gonna riff on this, and I'm just gonna keep an eye on the chat. Like seriously, let me get closer. Is there anyone that wants to come on and be totally rad if you did? So, that goes nowhere. So if anybody's interested, like totally, I can figure out how to send you the link. We can like talk about anything you would like. So I think I'm just gonna use this to like debut this new segment here on this channel called Aryan Kangs. The Jet Beauty has become the Aryan Kang. I do just the way it sounds. Like it's got this really nice mix of consonant vowels, like and that zzz on the end, just so awesome. And funny, I have a few little anecdotes to tell here. So I had this photo. Oh, it's not the photos in Google. It's from my bedroom in 8th grade. I wish I knew where this was. Oh my god, there it is. Okay, so let me tell y'all the story about this picture. Yeah, so this I can't even tell you what version. So basically, this photo tells you like quite the story of my life at like, oh man, like we have to go back to the Google. Google. and figure this out. When did this come out? 1998. Ooh, baby. Oh. So I was 13 when this came out. Okay, that explains a lot. All right. So, oh my goodness. And Good Will Hunting must have just come out before this. So, just so you don't think I was some Jerry Bruckheimer, like, hoe, like, you know. But Good Will Hunting must have come out a year or two before this. And I was obsessed with that movie. Had both of these on VHS. And, like, I just fell in love with Ben Affleck. So, like, well, technically, he's not the first Aryan Kang. He's just the first one that came into mind tonight. I thought to be a good jumping off board to start this series. So, what makes Ben Affleck an Aryan Kang? Well, he's like one of my original Aryan Kang. So, because before him, speaking of Armageddon, OG original gangster Aryan Kang is Bruce Willis, like for 1,000 reasons. So we'll come back to Bruce Willis later because there's a couple of films and like stories about him that really make him like OG status, like. Boop, boop. But so with Ben Affleck, like it, it's weird every time. Well, speaking of next month, well, not next month, August 15th is his birthday. And even since I was 13, even now, early 30s, every once in a while I look on August 15th, I'm like, oh, it's August 15th. It's Ben Affleck's birthday. Like, I was like, legit, like, oh, God. Fucking poster. Okay, so I didn't get to tell you the story. I had a copy of this poster. And I never meant to get rid of it. Part of me thought, one day you're going to get older, but you're going to want to totally keep it. And, like, I may still have it buried in something, maybe my mother's house or something. I don't know, but so this is what you're looking at, folks. I had this, like, 8 by 12 or whatever you call it, like the poster size. That was literally on my wall in like 19, yeah, probably. I would say it was probably up until about maybe the end of high school. So I graduated 2004, maybe a little before that. I think I got rid of it before then. But this was like on my like wall. Ugh, it's so weird. But yeah, he was Aryan Kang. He reminds Aryan Kang #1, Ben Affleck, because he reminds me of a certain part of my life, especially like my younger, more formative years. Now, this is Premiere Magazine, and I mean, I'm still like a movie person, and I mean, not as much as I used to be. But I think I may have briefly started talking about this last night when I was trying to answer a few questions about how did you become more pro-white or what have you. And that was actually a really key thing. And I remember thinking, well, Working Girl with Melanie Griffin, Harrison Ford, and Sigourney Weaver, it was like one of my mom's like movies in her era. But throughout the like 90s until early 2000s, again, I just said when Good Will Hunting came out, this is a really cool issue. I kept some of these things for a few years, and obviously, you turn like your late teens, early 20s, and you throw things away. So like, but you tell yourself like later, like, oh man, I should have kept this stuff. Because I used to I had this cover of this magazine. I had this interview because he interviewed himself. He wrote this really cool, funny piece when he was interviewing himself. And Premiere Magazine, I don't think it's still around anymore. It was like a movie. What's the one that starts with a V? I don't know. Basically, also Angelina Jolie, right around that same era, was in Premiere Magazine. I had a couple clippings I saved for that for years. I have no idea where those things are now. This is back in her Billy Bob days because she's wearing this like white kind of nightgowny dress thing, and she still had that like it was right around the time she got the tattoo. Still had the blood vial of his blood and whatever. But anywho, so this premiere cover, I had this for like a number of years too. So yeah, so basically I had this wall where it was this, and it was this. Let me go to the comments first. Make sure nobody's completely like, oh no, yep, 2 people like they're like, okay, we're done. Had caught the Aaron Kang series, like, whoa. I think other people have other things better to do. I'm just curious though. I'm sitting here. Doesn't look like anybody else is on. Okay. Just curiosity. Alright, so yeah. So this is on the wall. This is on the wall. You know, right before I was getting ready to come live tonight, I was listening to what's it called? It's Me by Sixpence None the Richer. This is from the Volume 1 soundtrack. I think I actually might. It might be a little bit tough because again, like I'm learning what the legality is and getting things pulled. But anyway, so like just imagine like my like 8th grade wall. So it was like I remember going to buy this from the reunion. What? When? Where? Where is it happening? Where? What? Oh my god! I would love like. Oh my god! Ah! Let me out of here. So anyway, yeah. So like, imagine like my back. Oh, I actually have this first season. I bought it for like $8 at like half price books, and I haven't watched it in full yet. It kind of like it's such a melancholy thing for me in a certain way because I think about like me and my buddy from high school. We talk about this like Joey Potter. Like she was kind of like us, like the girl from the wrong side of the tracks, and she's just like it's weird because like this is like, well, she had the sister who had a kid with a black guy, and this is like what Nantucket, wherever Dawson's Creek was based off like a quasi fictional place in like the Northeast. Like where the hell was it? Oh god, it's been so long. Anyway, so I'm rambling a bit here, but just think about this. So this was like, oh my god, are they all back? Like when and where? Is that the? Oh my god. Okay, I will. I will discover this later. I have to come back and do a second video. Is there really a reunion? Oh my freaking god. Sixpence on the Richer. Oh my god. I'm like living through like my like life here. I'm to get your life, girl. I'm like getting my life right now. There's a reunion. Like I used to know like all like the word. I memorized like the word for word like the last 2 episodes of like season 1 because Joey's gonna go study abroad in like Europe, but Dawson doesn't want her to go. And then it's like right there's like this like Miss Windjammer. It's like this local beauty pageant thing, and she sings that song from Les Mis, like, and then the big speechifying thing. It's time to grow up, Dawson, and like this great like I knew that whole episode by heart. Like I'll save the second part of this tale for another time, but basically, so just tying this back into the Aryan Kang episode 1. So it's like this on my wall, that on my wall. And a lot of Dawson's Creek songs from Dawson's Creek season 1 and 2. Like, I wish I knew. I know it's somewhere, but I don't know where it is. But I can find a picture where all 3 of these images are literally like in the real, actual glossy print, like real, actual physical images on my wall. So, how do we bring this back to the bin? Oh man, it's so weird because he was never like actually in this movie like owning his own lot. This was just shot like as a promo thing for the film. Oh, I'll save this as another story. I'll save this for the book, baby. That picture on my wall. It was like the reverse version, like the Farrah Fawcett photo, like poster everybody had with the red bikini. This was like my version of the Farrah Fawcett photo for like a couple of years, y'all. All his ups, all his downs, all his everything. It's been like Ben Affleck for life. But yeah, I mean, funny. I was on the plane and they had like the movie. What is it? His last movie, Live by Night, with his weird accent. I was like, oh god. But oh yeah, that was like the really weird. Somebody took a picture. I remember that Sean Mullins, Sixpence None the Richer, Heather Nova. Oh man. Anyway, how do we conclude the Aaron Kang episode 1? So Aaron Kang episode 1 is Ben Affleck because Ben Affleck takes me back, and I think of so when we think of the Aryan Kang, we think of a lot of things. And we think of this week. Gosh, I'm really reaching here. He's kind of got so I'm being obviously very tongue in cheekiness about it, and I actually already have I'm probably already 5 deep in the Kangs I like to feature in this segment. But what makes the Aryan Kang? Obviously, I'm being tongue in cheeky, and I'm kind of playing off of some sexy. Well, the thing is, when I think of as sexy is could be 1,000 things to other people. I'm just thinking actually, part of I got inspired to do this. I was revisiting some Scandal recently, and Tony. He's not gonna be on the Aaron Kang special because he's half Jewish, so we're gonna keep this shit pure, baby. Oh my god, yeah, that's the other one. Oh my god, that's him and Matt together. I was a big Good Will Hunting girl. I used to watch it on VHS every day after school in 8th grade. I was a latchkey kid at the time, so I'd come home and watch Good Will Hunting. I bet I could still quote some of the dialogue in the movie alongside it itself with them. But what were we gonna say? Tony Golan? Oh yeah, because he had that tattoo on his shoulder for a while. I love this photo. I had this one somewhere too. Oh my god, it's flashbacks. Oh yeah, and I really like this one too. He looks so goofy, dorky, weird. Looks like someone I know. But yeah, so are we done here? Aaron Kang part 1. But it's I'm not still some super super Ben Affleck. It's weird. I felt. I mean, I say fell out of or anything. It reminds me very much of a part of my life of being a young teen girl and being super into an actor guy and poster on the wall. So like I said, it's so I guess maybe I should just start with him, Bruce Willis, and maybe one or two Jeff Goldblum. It's funny. I was thinking about this earlier briefly, and I'm glad it caught my ear again. Makes me think of Brundlefly's profile photo with Jeff Goldblum. I was like, oh, Jeff Goldblum. Jurassic Park when I was a kid. I was like, I love this movie. And then the sequel, if anybody remembers this, he had the adopted black daughter. Nobody ever explains it. Do I have to watch some of the later ones that everybody keeps panning to figure out if this has any relevance? Because I'm thoroughly curious about this. Oh. It's looking at this reminds me of it's 8th grade all over again. That was on my wall. And then I remember, the funny story, this white girl got really mad at me because I used to hog her, we had a shared computer in 8th grade. This is after I got jumped by a bunch of hood rats at transfer middle schools, the middle 8th grade. And she's getting I just sit on the computer looking at Ben Affleck and Good Will Hunting and Matt Damon, and she's getting really annoyed because I would hog the computer as she's sitting there doo doo, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. And she's stop. And I'm no, I'm not gonna stop, bitch. Leave me alone. This is a part of my condition. You gotta see what condition my condition was in. Oh my gosh. I think I mentally just lost it. Shit. No. Okay. God damn it. I was no, I can't forget. Yeah, that was her name. It was just so random. Okay, so it's funny. You think oh, did they get reunited again? holy crap, I have to go watch this because, like, I remember as a kid or a younger person, it's weird. Like, if you want to talk the Oedipal complex, like in a way, like the first earlier films, like, oh my god, I wish Jeff Goldblum was my dad. And then like the sequel, he has this like black. I'm like, oh my god, I wish he was my dad. Like, cause like it's weird because we talk about like the diversity, the multicultural things in films, and how that makes people kind of want or have certain impressions. And I can say, yeah, that definitely could be the case in a lot of ways. Cause like I remember thinking, oh man, that's so cool. Like I had those emotional impressions. And I'm like, man, I wish he was like my dad. But then, yeah, Kelly Malcolm. Did they ever explain how this like came about? Because no one ever explained it. It was just like all of a sudden he had this black daughter. And you're like, okay. Hmm. Maybe I should research this later on my own time. But another subject of the Aryan Kang, and also because it comes up because of Brundlefly's like profile pic. Because I've been thinking this for like a while, like Jeff freaking Goldblum, and I always think, man, I wonder whatever happened. Frequently asked questions: why is he just randomly having a black daughter? Like it's like, and I remember it's weird because like there's like these early like I was rewatching some of the end of Scandal like a day ago and watching some of the commenters say that they were feeling however they were feeling about the end of the series Scandal, Shonda Rhimes, ABC, and then somehow I think a part of the discussion came up like, oh well, going back to the '90s and oh, it's this revolutionary thing for Shonda Rhimes and Kerry Washington and Tony Goldwyn. Yeah, but then someone's like, well, no, like Boy Meets World, like Sean and Angela, and just anyway. I'm just maybe terribly curious. Like, does anyone ever answer this? I always just kind of accept this as just de facto, like, whatever. Anyway. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Like, I just remember her as this little kid in this, like, story. Jurassic Park 2 decades later. Aww. Okay. I diverted and sidetracked over to that, and I got to learn something new. Yeah, maybe. How about this? Who can't get enough of a little bit of Donald Trump never come down? While I collect my thoughts and decide what I want to do from here. Oh my gosh. Yo. So I'm back. Um, hmm. I wonder if I should just clip it here. See everybody's just kind of out doing their thing. So maybe what I'll do is bid adieu to you lovely people tonight. Well, hold on for a second. Like, I can talk about. Oh. No, it's funny. My buddy just sent me a text message. Is anybody familiar? Oh, how about an honorary mention, Aryan Kang? So we have Aryan Kang 1, honorary. My keys. I mean, he deserves a mention because he's so like cool. Like, it's such a like. I mean, I think okay. There's something I've been wanting to do for a while here. I see 5 people watching now. Someone say something because I need some help with this. I'm really excited about doing something about with the show Twin Peaks and or Shameless. I've not watched the British version. I'd be really cool and down to do like the American version. So honorary Aaron Kang mentioned is Jeremy Allen White. My freaking god! I'll just mention that in this a sub bar. So when this comes up in the, I don't know, do I have the replay enabled? Sometimes I don't have it enabled. I'll have to figure it out. So I already mentioned tonight just because my buddy just texted me. He's like, him and his like girlfriend, fiance, wife type are like knocked up. I mean, Shameless. Like, if you could, a show that hasn't just like gripped me in every single way. Mm. An interview with him. Let's watch. You guys are watching.
Ready? On your mark, get set, go.
Scotty, baby. I could like do that in like 10 seconds.
What's up, guys? Nikki Novak here in the Young Hollywood studio with Shameless star Jeremy Allen White. Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
How many shameless puns do you get a day from people?
Shameless puns. Surprisingly, not that many. I thought that the press would take better advantage of the shameless puns. And
Maybe they just assume everybody else is going to do it.
I guess it's too easy.
Should I give you one?
Can you?
To start things off. You better not give me any lip.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I'm clapping for myself. This is my person in Oakwood. We lived in the Oakwood, like the famous Oakwood. Oakwood's like this famous place where a lot of really young actors stay. Is it like a weird?
It's very weird.
Okay, this isn't the best like example. I got a little too like excited just to like move from one thing to another. Short attention span. Dirt. Dude, like, it's so deserving. We have to do like, wait, they're back together? I have to research this, like, folks. I didn't understand that Dawson's Creek was like legit back together. Like, this is gonna change this channel in ways you don't even understand. Because I might actually have to do excuse me, a revisit. Man, those like things that change your life, and or just those formative years. Like, I don't know how old many of you are, like in these scenes and out here. Like, especially anything with a distant all right, you can hear. Like, I was actually, I was watching tonight. I watched like at home. It came in the mentions because there's like a little local black old weekly newspaper, and I opened it up, and guess which fat fucker was in it? It was Daryl. Here, you hear that? It's in my like little garbage bag. Let's just pull this out. That fucker from that stalks the Aryan attendees, Daryl Lamont Jenkins. Yeah, he's in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And basically, there's a documentary called Age of Rage. alt-right Age of Rage in it. And I was like, no freaking way. And so I went to go find the thing, and then what came from the mentions was the I guess Vice Trumpland kill all normies. It's like the Angela. That was me ruffling it back into the dumpster from whence it came, baby. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll just take a look at this. And then like that came up in the mentions. So I watched while I was like just shuffling around, sorting laundry, whatever. Anyway. Yeah. Where was I going with that? Oh goodness. I'm pathetic. So we got Aryan, Kang, one Ben Affleck. Good Will Hunting. Movie shaped a lot of my like life and a lot of my outlook, like in a weird way. So like, it's funnily enough to mention this. I'm gonna have to like come back and timestamp this so I can share this with one of the original question askers. What do you call a person who asks a question? A question asker? I think that sounds pretty fair. Like, hey, like, so I like actually felt that way because when you have to ask and answer certain questions about certain things, freaking Twitter. Okay, there. You end up rethinking things in a certain way, and so how did I become interested or not, or think that certain people need to be defended or not, or feel a certain way? I kind of just came to a lot of these realizations just through a lot of trial and error. So I think so like it also it's not in certain ways. I would say maybe up until the past like decade, specifically and particularly, it's a lot more of very isolated or the kind of disjointed experiences of life and existence. So so I know anyone listening, it sounds like really cheeky or like retarded, like, oh, watching like these Hollywood movies. But as I kind of suggested before, even when you hear me kind of geeking out, like, oh my god, it's like Shameless. Oh my god, it's Ben Affleck Armageddon. But in a way, I have to kind of like partially explain or like suggest that like in a certain part of this, it isn't the full story. It's just saying that for someone like me, growing up the person I grew up as a black girl, then later woman, in a certain area, in a certain place, certain class level, these images and experiences of whites and non-black people, and I guess if we tie into the theme tonight, these particular Aryan Kangs, is a way of existing and discovery that was very particular and something that, I mean, I wasn't going to be going to like do like some shed aquarium, like, case study or field trip or study abroad trip from where I came from. So these things end up being a way for me to interact and kind of learn and sit at the table of certain people and certain ways of thinking. I would say Aryan Kangness, because I was like, well, I think I'm digging a ditch for that metaphor tonight or that descriptor tonight because I'm really dragging it into the ground. But wow, what a cool beer! Seriously, Thai basil, rice, Belgian triples. Belgian triples are really good styles, by the way. Just so anyone listening here knows, when I first started, my first like non macro beer explorations began in the Belgians. And I mean, I have appreciation for all the different styles and just what the Belgians have produced, and they've produced for hundreds, close to like 1,000 bajillion years in terms of beer. But the triple is probably like my favorite Belgian beer style. Where there's candy sugar there, whether you get to the American side where we do different things with them, blah blah. I took a great sip to clear my palate in my talking and talking. And I spent, damn, Aryan Kang's, Aryan beers. It's like a madhouse up in this piece, yo. So, yeah. Dead air. Recolor. Oh my god, I'm like making myself laugh. So, you guys want to know something really shameless about me? I've been like really lazy the past 2 weeks since I've been back. I haven't been to yoga in forever, but I'm looking forward to swimming. It's still really, actually, it's overly hot this week in here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like just find one of the local lakes to just do laps in. I'll probably pull it up once it gets cool again. We get to the winter, so I'm looking forward to doing some swimming and just having a freaking blast and all that jazz. Yeah, it's almost 1:30 here. I swear I'm gonna go work out and get my trial by fire baptism in the morning. And my buddies, they could use someone to come over and cook for them. And I think I'm gonna fulfill that duty tomorrow. Stop by the Asian grocery store. Um, yeah, I think they do this like ready-made, really good kapoon noodles. It's like chicken and bamboo and like vermicelli noodles. Yeah. So do a little cooking for some people. Like there's, I don't know where this came from, but like I used to work at this place and we had this like little like placard up. We served soup along with like really good craft beer, and boss lady had this thing like, show people you love them, cook them good food. And I'm like, oh, that's such a sweet thing, but that's so perfect and true. Like, show people you love them, cook them good food. Who can disagree with that? So, anyway, I think I'm going to do that. And yeah, I just did a song examination because I think I should do those bit by bit in case someone sneaks up like, da 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 da. And so they want to pull it. I can always just go, meh, yeah, whatever. So grilled cheese, thank you. True to Soto, like yeah, there's a video. She's come up before, and like I should actually maybe go listen to that right now. By the way, Sweetwater, thank you for the recommendation. It'd be really cool to, like get down there to the south. I have a few reasons to get down there, and that'll be on the tour list of places to go. Chaz B98, seriously, thank you for showing up here. Oh God, I'm sorry. Like this is, I'm always like missing stuff in the stream. Like this is why I see people have like folks like here to like back them up and like. But before I go, your comment here. I go back and forth between 1, low intelligence, 2, a combo of psychosis / depression / low esteem, 3, manipulation and some evil diabolical plan that includes the need to pass on misery generation on the way to solve the complaints. The men won't like it. No, like that's literally the conclusion I've come to too. So regarding your first statement about too many black women. So the first one, yeah, like low intelligence. I'll just boil it into saying the IQ and RK selection questions do have some bearing. And there's something I want to say about that. I thought about this today when I was listening to like a few streams and a few videos. Like, I'm very fortunate that the work that I do, I get to just listen to streams while I do like my like normie like bing bong work. And that there's something that I do want to add, but I think I want to flesh out a bit more. But we factor in the IQ, the RK selection, all those other kind of like theorems that kind of give you an idea where certain populations may or may not be leading or trending in terms of what they do and how they do what they do. That's something there to be said. So then the second point you made, the combo of psychosis / depression / low esteem. And it's you see so much of this, almost like this kind of schizo nature that kind of that too many Black women particularly inhabit. So we all just like, shaking the ass and talking all out. And black women, it's like the guy who's like, well, would the tears from a clown analogy be fitting in any way, shape, or form? And maybe some of what we see with them is that tears from a clown kind of nature of they're not really happy or that brass or that brash, but you end up having to be the clown of your race and kind of like being the court jester or so many things. But just throwing it out there. Manipulation is some deep diabolical plan that includes the need to that motherline transmission discussion that popped up among certain groups of black women. I think there's something to be said for that. Like the black girl particularly is trained to be the designated survivor of the race, to stay back and uplift her brothers, whether so it's funny things like they talk about, well, don't be some Keisha thought. But the funny thing is there's not that much of a difference or disparity between her, the girl who starts at like, even though that's changed considerably. So now, like the 22-year-old who do what they gonna do with no college degree and have a baby or two, versus the one who's 2022 has like 2 or 3 of them, or maybe one from like, I mean, what are we really even talking about here at a certain point? So then the depression, low self-esteem, like there's so much of like what happens to all of us, quote unquote, that we just don't really know where to go and what to be and what we're really trying to do. But I'm stepping over myself because like I can see any of those comments like making a little bit better sense, or just being totally like mainstream like in a second. Like I don't have to like, well, even though they actually all pretty much are, but wow. I really want to take a stab at that because I didn't realize I had like actually stepped away. I had missed that. So, I mean, hats off. Like the depression angle, the low self-esteem angle, but these are things that even among some circles of us we don't even discuss or talk about, and it's so necessary to move forward. I know that sounds so cliche, but it's totally true because it keeps the body circulating, blood flow. Standing stimulates more sitting. So, yeah, I think this was fun. I'm glad grilled cheese and Chaz B98 popped in. I think I'm gonna call it, and I think tomorrow, because it's supposed to be really balmy hot, get one good workout in. Keep making content for behind the air conditioning wall and all that fun stuff. So seriously, anyone who like listen, and he popped in for a second, dipped out, like I do the same thing like other people's streams. Like sometimes I'm like, oh hey, I want to check this out. I'm actually really fortunate, like I get to listen to a lot of these things like the next day in like my own little QB hubby Sia solo. So I'm gonna leave it there without any more additional fanfare because I'll just like ooh, ooh, ah, ah. That's my monkey voice. So, anyway, seriously, thanks for everyone who stopped by. Way, way, way more of that to come. And yeah, peace and a bottle of hair grease. I just really wanted to say that.